6:51 on September 6th. I was driving by Village Hall and I see a bunch of cars here. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. I'm just here for the workshop.
Oh, okay.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Okay, the next one.
What's the topic of discussion?
Excuse me, we're in the middle of a meeting, Mr. Slackman.
An illegal meeting?
No.
Meeting's been advertised, and there is no input from the public at this point. Thank you. You are welcome to watch.
Okay.
The next one was the marketing study.
Yeah, the reasons.
Yes.
So they said they were gonna come back with it. We said, we put a few forward, but
He said they're going to be creating a lot of jobs, no supermarkets in the village, only 16 retail stores in Chestnut Ridge. It will create a balanced community, and he referred to his March 15th report.
do we need more?
He
also
said that
mentioned-
the report has demographics within a 3-mile radius, which is about 8 minutes, which
Indicated only 4 supermarkets. right?
indicated the need for facility.
We also did a tax comparison to the
Right.
current
From
zoning
59,000
to what the new zoning would permit.
Right.
Also, I think he said it was according to the study, could support an additional 675,000 square feet of retail space, and so that basically it could tolerate, or it could use this type of space, and it won't necessarily act as a blight in that you don't have too much space. Or something else I think.
Or overuse of the.
Right. Improvement of housing market. He's claimed that by having the store there, it makes the community that much more nicer for everybody to look at. Let's see. Tax rate
I think
goals.
what he was basically saying that it was a central place for people to come to.
I thought he was gonna provide a summary of some sort.
Yeah.
What he also did is that it's a planned area. You're not gonna get 9 banks because he's not going to allow it. He's gonna have the proper mix
Yeah.
of stores
Well, but
so that
but why do you need the stores in the first place is the is the question. It's not what are the stores, but why do you need stores in the first place? Is the question.
We'll have to look at his demographics.
Yeah. I think he went back and did the 2010 census versus the one that he used before, so they were much more up to date. And also, he had an income thing that we didn't agree
Right.
with, if you remember. The income.
The
And he also said that it
demographics.
would give the existing stores a little,
He did, he said it will make existing
Right.
businesses better,
right,
and that The shopping
They
center
improve
is
their
not large
services.
enough to
Right.
create a blight.
Yeah, right.
And he will not be, there'll be, the existing shopping areas will have more traffic going their way, which
Right.
should increase
Right.
their business.
Right. And in terms of, to be honest with you, if you need a container of milk, you're still gonna go
Right.
To
But-
to
the
this
door.
store,
You
you're
can
not
get in
gonna
and out for a
schlep,
minute
yeah, you're
instead
not
of
gonna
going-
schlep all the way
Right.
down there. If you want a bagel, they're not gonna have bagels, but if you wanted a bagel, you're gonna still go where you're gonna go, where it's
Right.
close and easy. You're not gonna spend time parking and looking through. That's why it's important for him to have, I think, different kinds of stores than we have in our neighborhood shopping, in order to attract more people. Or different people for different reasons.
You also mentioned there are two different types of restaurants.
Right.
Right, for the
Yep.
pads.
The
Right,
pads.
right, that's kind of moderate.
And we know, and they know, and we know no fast food is allowed, so it eliminates that. But since we really only have 2 restaurants in the whole village,
No, we have more than
we have Da Vinci's and J
Yeah,
Village,
J
what do we have?
that. And the one across the street there with the bar.
Oh, wow, that,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
not a restaurant that we would go to, okay, let's put it that way. It's a restaurant that maybe men go to for lunch, or guys
But
who want to
that's the
sit
bar
around and
that's
be
right
at,
in the
with it
farm
in a bar
bar.
in the middle of the day, but that's not
Okay.
where I'm
Not really a
going.
restaurant,
Yeah, that's not where I'm going.
like a bar.
The
That
bar
serves
that serves food, yeah. The difference between a restaurant and a bar that serves food, to me, anyway, what I'm going to go to.
Okay, the next thing we discussed was the fire district letter, which we've already spoken about.
Yep. Okay.
You want me to send a letter to the fire district, or
Please.
let him
Mhm.
follow up on it? Should we do it?
I think we,
Yeah.
I think we should do it and tell them that we want whatever that is, pressure, the flow,
And the basis for
basis.
their need.
for the need. The pressure, the flow, and the basis for the need.
And that was it for that meeting. Now,
So
Bob-
that's really not that much.
Well, we don't know what else Bob has.
Oh, okay. But I mean, that's not much, that's not that
Yeah.
much for that meeting.
If I'm doing it, it's a ton.
Yes and no.
I think as far as I'm concerned, that we've covered all the basic issues, and as I mentioned before, when I continue revising the FEIS, I may find some more things, and I'll bring them to your attention.
Dennis, if you get the information that, they're supposed to be sending you next week, if you get it, you think that within a week after that, you'll have like some kind of report for us?
That's pretty ambitious, 1 week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's interesting. A big game changer can be how good of a job he does at explaining what he provides. It's a narrative, and it's one thing to just give me a bunch of calculations. Say, hey,
Right.
good luck. Another way, say, Dennis, on page 26, you're going to find the calculations you asked for on this date, and then on page, he can lead me and help me find it, or else I go searching. It could be a treasure hunt.
All right, so if we have to set another meeting, should we set it now? Or wait?
Well, I think we ought to wait until Dennis has a
Yeah.
chance to look at the stuff.
Or how about until Dennis has received the stuff?
That's right, baby steps.
Received, reviewed the stuff, and we also need to know what the county planning has, and traffic have to say.
Alright,
Yes.
so here's my question. My question is, if we should set a meeting, for example, for the first week of October, and hope that everything is in, and we can, what do you think? At least we'll have a date that we can all
Target.
agree upon. I'm worried that we won't, if we don't set another meeting, we're gonna go through what day.
Well, we
And
have
it's
2
for-
Jewish holidays.
That's why I said
Yeah,
first week in October.
in the next 2 weeks.
Mhm.
And then we have to go into the beginning of,
Well, that's what I
October.
said, if we did, that would give Dennis time to review everything, and if he didn't get it on Monday, he could say, somebody could call him and say, well, where the hell is it?
Yeah, I
You
haven't
keep
done my
pushing,
October
but-
calendar yet. I couldn't give
You
you
would know?
a date with any certainty. I can't, or
Is
by
there
early
any
next
days
week.
that
How
are-
about the first Thursday?
That would be good, at 8?
yeah, the first Thursday, I know you're busy.
No, but just like tonight.
No, that probably would be.
That would work?
I think so.
Maybe keeping it,
That would be October
just at
4th.
least you're here,
Why don't we do
Right, very
that?
Why
efficient.
don't we do that?
Why don't we do that tentatively?
kept this fugitive.
And this way, at least we have a goal,
Yeah.
and it's well enough before the meeting that if we can, maybe, straighten everything out.
Sounds good.
Did you notice I'm not the most patient person?
No, you're just trying to keep it moving.
Well, I think we're working in very good faith,
Oh, yeah. And then
So-
when they find out you've already scheduled your next meeting, I think that looks good.
and, so that will give, Florence enough time, maybe the Journal News will advertise it, which they don't often do.
They will. Or they won't, whatever they do.
We try.
So that is, what's
I have
that
the
date
same
again?
thing, they don't,
October 4th.
October
October
4th.
4th.
$5:30?
That seems to be a good time to have this meeting.
It's the sand,
Yeah.
sand needs it.
Then extra time helps a little bit. 5:30 sounds, that's good.
Let me go through the local law before you go.
And if you do get an agreement with, if Bob does get an agreement and a date, you know, with the county, let's hope it's well before we have to meet again.
Well, you said that you're hoping to have that next Wednesday.
He's hoping, but he
Right.
didn't speak to them
That's
yet.
just the general. That just happens to be their best day.
Yeah. Could be next Wednesday, could be 3 Wednesdays after.
Right. This has been a long time coming already.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't stand on this one.
Where was this meeting advertised?
Excuse me, Mr. Slackman.
Because I checked the website.
As the public, you're entitled to watch the meeting. You are not entitled to participate in the meeting. If you have any problem with the advertisement, my suggestion is you can call Village Hall tomorrow morning, and any questions that you may have hopefully will be answered.
Just like the last illegal meeting?
Mr. Slackman,
On the same
I
project?
answered your question. If you're here to instigate the board, your presence is not necessarily being well
I
received.
was just asking where it was publicized.
So noted. You can call the Village Hall tomorrow morning, and they'll be able to answer your questions.
You're here, so obviously it worked.
I was driving by.
right,
Nothing I can really
Dennis and Bob, you're going to give the board recommendations on noise and landscaping, right? So we'll hold those off, that won't be in the local law yet.
We should probably schedule a sit down.
And on signs, who's gonna contact them for the signs? You want me to do it? Or are you gonna do it when you speak to them?
I'm gonna do a little independent research myself on signs. I've got some material. And if you place I'd like to drive by, take a look at, maybe take some pictures of it.
So then you call them,
I'm gonna go get it.
I had a way.
Doris, I think, given the confusion between the sign area, as we talked about before, the area with lettering, and the actual entire sign structure, I think maybe a way to clarify
no,
is,
I need water, this is soda.
with some definition and some
We have it in our
dimensions.
current law.
Well,
I don't think we should change the definitions that are in our current law.
This was a good reason, yeah.
You
What I'm
know,
saying is,
we may
red and
change the size, but we should not change the definitions.
we want to make sure they're applicable to this kind of a development, because it's
Yeah.
a larger commercial development that we've had.
Yeah,
My point is, I think it might be better for us to put something in writing, let them react, rather than, at this point, call them and say, well, what do you really mean? And if you want, I'll do that to the next meeting.
I think that's a good idea.
Thank
yeah.
you. And the same on lighting, we'll try to clarify, or detail the lighting portion a little more.
Well, yeah, the proposed local law does not have a lighting section. I think we were relying on our existing law.
Yeah. We'll-
So we'll have to take a look at that and maybe amend the proposal.
Would that have to be, it would still have to be in this new local law, because it's a new zone, but unless you
Well, not
refer.
necessarily,
No.
because we have a general chapter. Our zoning law has a chapter on signs, and we have a chapter on lighting.
Now, our recent change in
Lighting
the,
and landscape.
all right, on signage, for instance, that would be different that because, for this, than it would be for any of the others because of the type of plan that we're
Right, that's why
working
it's
with.
in here.
Okay.
But the definition.
But we didn't do that for the lighting area, so we will have to take a look at what we currently have and see if that applies, and if it doesn't,
Clean.
we'll add something to this.
Okay.
Sam, you didn't eat?
Nah, I haven't.
No, this is I was looking for Bob's memo on signage.
I'm
I
sure
don't
it's
think I
gonna be
brought it.
3 or 4 months old.
Yeah,
I did the signage and the lighting within a day or two of each other. So if you find one, that's the approximate date.
yeah, I didn't bring that one.
If you don't have it, let me know when I send it.
I have it, I've got a big thing on
Somewhere.
it, but I just don't bring everything to every meeting.
Yeah.
Why, you can't carry it?
I can't carry it.
Mountain.
I would need a
That's
moving
right.
van. Now, what about, so if we put the lighting, since that's already, there is a local law on that. In the new local law, you refer to that area for lighting?
You don't have to. What's
just
in
don't
there
want
applies.
I just
no
don't
matter
want it
what.
to be,
No,
oh,
because it's in the law unless changed.
okay.
Oh, here it is. I think I did bring it. More efficient than you think. Keep the same pile from meeting to meeting. Yeah. It was Exhibit E, right? What you prepared?
I think so.
Um, Lighting, both direct and indirect, is allowed for all signs, monument signs, maximum of one at each road frontage. They're asking for 3 at the road frontage.
So, we'll talk
Um,
about entrance. exit,
Maximum. Yeah, that's what they want. Maximum sign area shall be 100 square feet. Maximum height, 20 feet. Minimum setback, 10 feet from the designated street line. The sign may identify the name and address of the shopping center, the tenants with lease area of 10,000 square feet or more. That they already have in there. Small tenants at the discretion of the planning board. Sign should be placed at sight distance for entering and existing vehicles is not affected. Property numbers of the address shall be placed on the sign. And then he's got temporary signs pursuant to our existing sign law. Wall signs permitted for each building wall with an entrance facing a road from which there is vehicular access.
The reason that one was worded that way, so they couldn't put a wall sign on the north side that faces the, point where the
Right.
parkway crosses Red Schoolhouse
Mhm.
Road.
Each tenant with exterior frontage in the RS district shall be permitted to have one wall sign for each exterior frontage identifying the name of the business, so limiting it to just the name. Wall signs may cover 15% of the wall area, but not more than 150 square feet in size, and not more than 5 feet in height for the anchor store, and 70% of the length of the store frontage for other stores, and not more than 2.5 feet in height. Bracket signs, shingle bracket signs. One sign is permitted under the sidewalk overhang. We don't have any of those now in our
No.
law. Maximum size of sign shall be 8 square feet. Sign shall be hung at a height so as not to impede pedestrian traffic. Minimum 8-foot clearance, and positioned perpendicular to the building side.
Mhm.
Sign may be wall mounted or hung from the ceiling. We said we commit bracket
So
signs,
that
right?
if people were walking down.
Yes,
the-
yeah, you want that, you don't have to walk into the roadway to look up to see where you are.
Window signs. Signs may be applied directly to interior of window or hung inside the window. Window signs may not exceed 15% of the window area, and maximum height shall be 8 inches. Do you want me to incorporate this into the local law?
Yep.
Except for the monument signs, which we're still looking into.
We would say at each entrance, I think, is what we're talking about, monument signs at each.
Yeah, but we don't know the size yet, so
No,
we
but
look into that a little more.
But our law didn't say at each entrance, our law said one,
Set of frontage,
yeah,
at one frontage,
so we should say
yes.
each entrance.
Doris, if you incorporate it now, it's easy to change the dimensions later.
Yeah,
The format is set up.
yeah, at least we'll have it in
Yeah.
there.
A lot of those dimensions are taken from the present sign law, like
Right.
2.5 foot height.
Right.
It seemed to me that where we
No-
could, we ought to
We'd
stick
keep
to
it the same,
same
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
They may argue that they need taller signs, fewer signs above the stores because the distance from the road is much greater than in the small shopping centers in the village. So we can discuss that. I mean, we want a situation where the signs are visible for a driver who glances over to see what the signs are, but not so big that they become distracting.
Right.
And to some extent, that's a judgment call.
Is there an industry standard as far as the correlation between distance and the size of the sign?
And speed of travel of the car. Yeah, there are some. I'll take a look at those.
Is there anything else we should add to the local law?
Sign.
With signage, lighting,
No, I
we're
think
not
Yeah.
gonna change landscaping unless,
Yeah,
And,
we're
well,
gonna try to
let's-
work out some general standards and see if it makes sense to put them in part of the local
general
law.
standards, to screen from residential.
And to create clusters of plantings rather than, every 50 feet or something like that.
okay,
So that more of a visual impact.
The front setback planting areas would normally be very low so that nothing is obscured as far as seeing the type of stores and what the pad
Oh, they're almost
restaurants are.
always low,
The county will,
require that.
when we get the site plan review, the county will say, put in a berm or landscaping or a fence or something that screens the headlights in the parking lot
on the road.
from confusing drivers on the county road. It could be done in a variety of ways, and maybe it'll make sense to put something like that in the local law to make sure it doesn't get overlooked. But it's to the village's advantage as well.
Yep,
Well, the topography of the property, is that below, like, is that how, like even with that, if
No.
it's already low, don't they have, almost like they have a head start on that already, because since they're kind of lower?
They may, but remember they're revising the plan, and we haven't seen it yet. It may turn out that the natural conditions will be adequate. It may be that there's a slope from the roadway down into the parking lot, and plantings could be put on that slope to break the glare from headlights. The headlights are typically, 24 to 30 inches above the road surface.
Also, there's a curve in the road that would nah, it wouldn't be.
Never mind.
Did we go over all the items?
yes, we did,
I think so.
Do you have anything else to add?
it's enough.
Not for tonight.
I think it's enough, it's right.
Alright, so we have to wait for,
Yeah, we gotta wait for
Supplement.
Dennis,
We
we
have to
gotta
hurry up
wait
and wait
for
now.
the county, those are the two biggies.
Yeah.
Horace, are you going to draft this in law firm, so at our next
Well,
meeting?
what the board asked for was, we have a draft law,
Mhm.
we have to change it now. and I was gonna give you a draft towards the end of the month.
Okay.
Okay. This way, at our next meeting,
We're not gonna be ready to do anything.
no, but
No,
at
no,
least, no,
At
our
our
next workshop.
Workshop, we can go over.
We can go over this and,
Well, a lot of the issues are still gonna be open.
Well, I
No.
hope at the October 4th meeting, we can go over this whole thing.
All right.
yeah, I'd like to see what,
Yes.
I
what it
would
looks like
if
in
I-
draft
right.
form.
We'll go as far as we can go.
Yeah. So, based on what we have and where we are, I don't think we can adopt.
No, we
local
can't,
law.
we can't
No.
adopt anything
We can't-
until the environmental impact statement is complete.
Right.
We can adopt the environmental impact statement and the law at the same time, but we can't do anything until, from what I understand, until that is complete.
Right.
Right, so when we were thinking October, it's more like November, December.
More like November, December, yeah, at this point.
They're gonna have to
Yep.
scream, but we're working as hard as we can.
Yeah.
Right now,
They
it's
can't
all,
really scream if they.
it's all in their court, they don't have to use
There's-
the
there's-
That's outstanding that you've been
Yeah.
asking for.
Yeah,
They have nothing to scream about. They're the ones that are holding up the work.
I know. Okay.
But-
You guys are actually done for your 8 o'clock meeting.
We've
time
Yeah.
for a
got
cup
to
of
walk
coffee.
out on
Got
you.
time?
Gotta go get some gas.
We have an executive session.
No.
No?
What, from the pizza?
Yeah, you already
It
have.
doesn't touch the stuff.
Oh,
We're
boy,
done?
oh, boy.
The party's over. It's time to call it a day.
That was an official adjournment motion?
No, the
Workshop.
workshop. This is all filled.
Yeah, well, spill it out, I'll spill it out with that.
This is clean, right?
Yeah.
Good night all, Bob, I'll see you in a few.
Have a good meeting here, Dennis.
Good night,
Thanks.
Dennis. Thank
You
you.
finish it with this, or?
Sorry?
Yeah, take your time.
Okay.
Why don't you
You don't
shove
need to
over
shove
my
my water, huh?
Yep.
Put my glasses away. Thank you. So my daughter's coming tomorrow. She's supposed to be coming with my granddaughter who has been throwing up all day.
Oh,
So she says if
don't get sick.
she doesn't get any better, she'll bring the twins instead.
Meeting's complete, Mr. Slackman, thank you.
We're going home.
Where was this meeting advertised?
I told you twice now, right? Where you can call. Advertisement was sent to the Journal News. Advertising was done in accordance with law.
For the last legal workshop
Mr. Slackman,
as well?
I answered your question. I'm not
For
gonna
Mr.
have-
Anthony
I'm not
Gage's
gonna have an
property?
argument with you. I'm not gonna have an argument.